Hello, everyone. My name is Alia Alkubi, and I'm the registered dietitian with the Cardiac Rehab Program at St. Joseph's Healthcare London. Before we get started today, if you have any technical difficulties, please call the virtual care helpline at 519-685-8390. So today we're going to be talking about how to read food labels. So before we dive into that, I encourage you to just reflect on the past week with your journey with the Cardiac Rehab Program. Are there any specific goals that are going well? Is there anything that's not going as planned? If you have any further questions or need support, please feel free to reach out to your cardiac rehab team. By the end of the session today, we're going to look at parts of a food label, the ingredients list, the serving size, the percent daily value, what is considered a low and high percent daily value, and how to read food labels at the store. So why is this information important to me? So research shows that most people find reading labels difficult. However, attending a label reading education class can give you more confidence and skills to read labels and make more healthy food choices. So when we look at a food label, there are a couple parts that we want to look at. So the first one is the nutrition facts table. The second one is the ingredient list. And then we want to look at the nutrition or the health claim. So sometimes it might say a very high source of fiber. When we look at the ingredients list, the ingredients are actually listed in order from most to least. So if we have sugar as one of the first or second ingredients, that means it's the most in weight. And then we also want to look at how sugar is noted. So there are different types of sugars. So it's just important that we look at the different names like fancy molasses or brown sugar. And with the new labels, they're going to group them all together. So it makes it a lot easier for us to read them. Now, when we look at the nutrition facts table, one of the first things that we want to look at is actually the serving size. So you want to look at, are you actually going to eat 1 cup or 2 cups? Then we want to look at the total fat, the saturated fat, and the sodium. It's also really great to see how much fiber there is there, how much sugar, and then also how much total carbohydrate. So within the serving size, you want to look at that first. All nutrition information is based on this amount. So if you're going to eat 2 cups of a specific thing, you would have to double all of the other numbers. And it's listed in common household measures. So when we look at nutrition facts tables and comparing products, it's really important to just make sure you're comparing the same amount. So with the original milk cartons, they had like per 1 cup, and now they're going per 1 carton, and you have to look at the milliliters as well to make sure you're comparing the same amount. Now, something else that we look at on the nutrition facts table, something called the percent daily value. So it tells us if there is a lot or a little amount of these nutrients in the serving size, and it's based on a 2,000 calorie diet per day. So for example, when we look at the percent daily value, we want to choose foods that are 15% or higher in things that have benefit for us, like fiber, vitamins, minerals. If something, harms us or is not good for us, we want to choose 5% or lower, like saturated fat or sugar. And for salt, less than 10% is a reasonable amount. So patients on a low sodium diet are encouraged to have less than 2 grams of sodium per day, and low sodium products would have less than 5% daily value. And so a good way is to shop is to avoid products with greater than 10% daily value of salt. So just as a learning activity together, let's think about this. So if we look here, do you think this food has a low or high percent daily value of calcium? So if we look at calcium and we have 2%, I'll give you a moment to think about it. So with the calcium, it's low. What about the iron? So iron is about 50%, so that is a high amount of iron. So now we're just going to look at comparing two different yogurts here. So the first thing we want to look at is the serving size. So 3/4 of a cup. They're both the same, so that's awesome. And then we want to look and see, okay, you know what? Let's look at the fat. The fat is the same. We can look a bit at the sodium. So this one, the left-hand one has a bit more, but then we also want to look at the sugar. So the right-hand side one has almost, triple the amount of sugar. So that's a lot. So we want to look at this one. So this one has less, so about 6 grams compared to 19 grams. So the left-hand one would be a better option. And then there are nutrition claims that we can look at. So some are fat-free, low fat, light, no added sugar, unsweetened, cholesterol-free, no cholesterol. So those sometimes help us make choices for sure. Sometimes they say extra light on them, like this olive oil. And then when we're looking at cans, the ones that say 25% less salt, they may be misleading. So it's just really important to also look at the percent daily value. And then very high fiber is added to a product if it contains 5 grams of fiber or more. When you're on the Cardiac College, we do encourage you to check the Cardiac College out. There's something called Eating Healthy, and it's a booklet. It has a lot of great resources. And then there's also a video that talks about how to read food labels, and there's another one about nutrition health claims. There's also another great resource on the Cardiac College, which is called Making Healthy Food Choices. There's a video and then there's tip cards that give you just specific tips on how to make choices. So for example, if you're choosing a healthy soup, we want to try, making your own soup at home would have the lowest sodium amount. But if you're looking at the nutrition facts table of one from a can, we want to choose soup or soup broth that has 5 or less percent daily value. So just as a reflection, I do encourage you to think about, is there anything new that you learned today? Is there anything that you're unsure about? Anything you need to clarify? If you do, please give us a call and you can book an appointment with myself. I'm the registered dietitian and my name is Alia. So what we learned today, we looked at parts of the food label, the ingredients list, the serving size, the percent daily value, what is considered a low and high percent daily value, and how to read food labels at the store. For next week, you guys are going to be looking at taking care of your emotional well-being part 2. If you'd like to read ahead, you can find some extra readings on the Cardiac College. Thank you so much. It was really great to connect with you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call.